Hi friends, I'm here to talk about what I think the Niners starting out 3-0 says about their ability to win the Super Bowl. I think as fans it can be tempting to assume that this means they're going to go 17-0 and they're going to win it all. But reflecting on their competition, I don't think it's fair to make any definitive statements yet. The 49ers haven't faced an elite team. I'm still thinking that the Cowboys will be their biggest competition coming up. That is if Dan Quinn can start working around Trayvon Diggs' injury and that secondary can get bigger and Dak Prescott doesn't shit the bed. They did find out about Trayvon Diggs' injury midweek last week, so I do think that they're going to end up being a really good team still, maybe fall off in the playoffs, but I think that when the Niners face them, they will still be a good test for the 49ers. And that Arizona game for the Cowboys will just be a fluke. Although I will say I underestimated Arizona. I thought that they were tanking for Caleb Williams. I thought those PR videos that the Cardinals were putting out about Jonathan Gannon going like boom, boom, boom in the offseason were weird, but he's doing something right. Their team is very limited with talented players, and they're out there playing hard for Gannon. But I'm really not worried about the Arizona game coming up, and we'll talk about them more tomorrow. I want to say that I feel like there's really only two things that we can take away from the 49ers starting out 3-0, and that's the answers to probably the two most important questions that we had this offseason going into the season. Firstly, that would be how would Brock Purdy's elbow hold up? And I want to say I think it's holding up fine. I think his elbow looks the same as before. His arm strength seems requisite, doesn't seem much worse. Definitely doesn't, not super good, but I think it's good enough. He did have a lot of inaccuracy issues last Thursday against the Giants, but I would credit that more to him being blitzed on 33 of his 39 dropbacks. And not his elbow problems. I did hypothesize that potentially normally during the week on like a Wednesday or Thursday, perhaps they are doing more PT on his arm and he's able to rest it more, so maybe it was a little bit more sore on Thursday's game. But I'm not really ready to say that his elbow was the issue. Definitely something to look out for, but for right now I'm going to say that it was just the fact that he was being blitzed so much, because even as the game went on and he got more comfortable against the blitz, he made several throws down the field outside the numbers, including his touchdowns, and in previous games his elbow and his arm strength has seemed the same as last year, which is fantastic because that's all they need it to be. Maybe not to win a Super Bowl, but definitely that's what the 49ers were hoping, is that it would just be as good as it was last year. The second question was, is Jake Moody a bust? Going into this season, I was wondering why are you not on the phone with Robbie Gould begging for him back, apologizing on your knees saying, we're going to pay you whatever we want to pay you. I was so worried about it, especially in previous season with Kyle being more conservative. It was like, we need a kicker. Jake Moody's nervous, but he's been money. He's made every single one of his kicks. I guess they know more than we do. I heard during the practices this offseason, he was making all of them. So I guess he shook off all the rest in the preseason, and knock on wood, he's been doing great. So I think that those are the two most important conclusions we can come to with this fast start that the Niners are having. But I don't necessarily think we can crown them Super Bowl champions yet. I'm definitely looking down the line to see how they fare against the Cowboys, against the Eagles in December, which is pretty far away, even against the Browns, against their defense. I think those games will be more telling on what type of team this is. I mean, I think it's an elite team, but